time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head? This is where I grew up. I think the president who fixed it up. I never knew we ever went without. The second floor is hot for sneaking out. And this is where I went to school. Most of the time I had better things to do. Criminal record says I'm broken twice. I must have done it half a dozen times. I wonder if it's too late. Should I go back and try to graduate? Life's better now than it was back then. If I was them, I wouldn't let me in. Oh God, every memory of looking out the back door. I have a photo album spread out on my bedroom floor. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Every memory of walking out the front door. I found the photo of the friend that I was looking for. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Remember the old arcade? Blew every dollar that we ever made. The cops seen us hanging out. They say somebody went and burned it down. We used to listen to the radio and sing along with every song we know. We said someday we'd find out how it feels to sing to more than just a steering wheel. Kim's the first girl I kissed. I was so nervous that I nearly missed. She's had a couple of kids since then. I haven't seen her since God knows when. Oh God, every memory of looking out the back door. I have a photo album spread out on my bedroom floor. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Every memory of walking out the front door. I found the photo of the friend that I was looking for. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. I miss that town. I miss their faces. You can't erase. You can't replace it. I miss it now. I can't believe it. So hard to stay. Too hard to leave it. I can relive those days. I know the one thing that would never change. Every memory of looking out the back door. I have a photo album spread out on my bedroom floor. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Every memory of walking out the front door. I found the photo of the friend that I was looking for. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Every time I do, it makes me.
I can think of younger days when living for my life was everything a man could want to do. I could never see tomorrow, but I was never told about the sorrows. stop the rain from falling down? How can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go round? How can you mend this broken man? How can a loser ever win? Please help me mend my broken heart and let me live again. I can still feel the breeze that rustles through the trees and misty memories of days gone by. Sorrow, no one said a word about the sorrow. How can you mend a broken heart? How can you stop the rain from falling down? How can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go round? And how can you mend this broken man? How can a loser ever win?
Nice, very nice.
is the way. Everybody said to do each and every little thing. But what does it bring if I ain't got you? Ain't got. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody, to love somebody the way I love you. My parade, I see your face again. I know my friend man. You ain't got to be so glad. And I'm glad, so glad I'm a man. Can't you see what I am? I live and I breathe for you. But what good does it do if I ain't got you? Ain't got you. Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody, to love somebody the way I love you. Oh, no, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like to love somebody, to love somebody the way I love you. No, 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 no. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like.
had a nightmare. You could read quite a story in the calluses and lines. Years of work and worry had left their mark behind. I remember Daddy's hands, how they held my mama tight and patted my back for something done right. There are things that I've forgotten that I loved about the man, but I'll always remember the love in Daddy's hands. Daddy's hands were soft and kind when I was crying. Daddy's hands were hard as steel when I'd done wrong. Daddy's hands weren't always gentle, but I've come to understand there was always love in Daddy's hands. I remember Daddy's hands working till they bled, sacrificed unselfishly just to keep us all fed. If I could do things over, I'd live my life again and never take for granted the love in Daddy's hands. Daddy's hands were soft and kind when I was crying. Daddy's hands were hard as steel when I'd done wrong. Daddy's hands weren't always gentle, but I've come to understand there was always love in Daddy's hands. Daddy's hands were soft and kind when I was crying. Daddy's hands were hard as steel when I'd done wrong. Daddy's hands weren't always gentle, but I've come to understand there was always love in Daddy's hands. I'm sorry, friends, that I can't be with you here today. If you're gathered reading this, it means I've passed away. But if I were there, I'd tell you not to shed a tear or frown. I'd tell you just to simply say another biker has gone down. If I were there, I'd tell you I have no more pain or strife, that I love my friends and family and I had a great life. If I were there, I'd tell you how I loved the small blue highways, I loved the curving mountain roads, and I loved to ride the back road byways. I loved to be in the wind, I loved when that engine rumbled, and the friends who rode me would help me when I stumbled. You're amongst my friends, brothers and sisters of the road. We've travelled many miles together, shared many heavy loads. If I could be there with you, we'd laugh and share memories from our past, and this gathering would be just one more tale, another story, not our last. But today I can't be with you, except in heart and memory stores, so you'll have to laugh, remember the past, then let your engines roar. Please smile and do not shed a tear, wipe away that silly frown. I'm off upon that final ride, another biker has gone down. It's gathering as family and friends when faced with a painful task, painful and unexpected task of saying goodbye that brings strength and comfort. And so on behalf of those who love Pete, I warmly welcome you as we honour and celebrate his life. Your presence here today is greatly appreciated. I would also like to welcome those who are unable to be with us and are joining us by live stream. My name is Delma Carpenter, a funeral celebrant, and along with Brendan and his colleagues from Parkside Funerals, we express our sincere condolences to you and thank you for giving us the privilege of leading this service today. If you haven't done so already, now is a really great time for you to turn your mobile phones off or onto silent. Thank you. So how do we begin to describe someone like Poppy Pete? A rebel, said what he thought, stubborn, a loose cannon, would go some way towards it, but he was so much more than that. Kind-hearted, fun-loving, friendly, torment, stirrer, with a cheeky sense of humour. But even that doesn't describe the love that he had for Margaret and his family. His passing on Sunday the 7th of November at the age of 63 years was not only sad but sudden and unexpected. Pete had suffered with heart problems and was waiting to go to Hobart for further tests. He'd not been feeling well himself for a while, and not wanting to bother anyone about it, he never shared how unwell he was. It was written that the event of death has a way of uniting us in a manner that perhaps no other experience does. It reminds us of the importance of our relationships, and it reminds us of the special and unique way in which we meet and share with those people who cross our paths. When death comes unexpectedly, the loss can feel overwhelming, especially for those who love Peter. It will take time for the numbness and the pain to pass and to feel peace settling in your hearts once more. No one wanted to be here today, if only we could turn back the hands of time and change what happened. Sadly, we can't, but we can do something. We can support one another, not just today, but in the weeks and the days and months ahead. Today, it brings us together as family and friends and the wider community, and for now, we take time in our lives to reflect on our memories and times spent with Pete and to comfort his family. So let's now take a look at Pete's life as told to me by his family. Peter was born on the 13th of January 1958, and as a young boy he was adopted to Margaret and Gifford Causon. They had 3 children, Philip, Andrew and Naomi. The Causon family were English, and we can only imagine how exciting it must have been for Pete when as a young child he boarded a huge plane along with his family and flew to the other side of the world to visit England. Peter was a mischievous kid and often in trouble, and around the age of 13 to 14 years he left home and became a street kid. Moving on in Pete's life, he worked underground at the Roseberry mines and later went on driving trucks. In his spare time down the west, he played rugby for Williamsford and enjoyed socialising with the players after a match. It was while he was working at the mines that he met Margaret at a pub in East Devonport. Having a broken arm, Pete boarded with Margaret for a time. They had what we call a love-hate relationship, with Margaret kicking him out a few times. One day, Pete said, "I want to talk to you. I want to get married." And Margaret said, "Who to?" And Pete said, "You." And as the saying goes, 37 years on, the rest is history. Wanting a change and to travel to the mainland, Pete found work in Western Australia, and Margaret and the family joined him later. After a time, they left the West and moved to Alice Springs, where Pete worked underground at an outback mine. He then drove road trains making long hauls to Adelaide and Darwin and return. Tassie was always home for Pete and Margaret, and they moved back to live at Glenorchy. Their lives became busier when they took on the care of their twin grandsons, Jordan and Riley. Moving to Wynyard, and in more recent years, Pete looked forward to his weekly night out at the Outlaws Club, having a couple of drinks and a chat with the other members. He enjoyed the times when the boys turned up and he'd fire up his Harley, and he frequently called in for breakfast and any other time of the day as well. He had a special spot outside on sunny days and a table right at the front window when it was cooler. If the family couldn't find Pete, they all knew where to look, for the mayor of Goldie Street at Noah's. In recent times, Pete and the regulars at the coffee shop suggested that they purchase a hot dog machine. Their request was granted, and the machine is to arrive next week. In Pete's honour, a plaque saying Poppy Pete's hot dog machine will be mounted on the machine, and there'll be a hot dog named after him. So you will all have to go in and try Poppy Pete's Savaloy, yes, hot dog. Oh, I said the wrong thing there. Sorry about that. When I asked Margaret, did Pete like shopping, she said, have a look in his garage. He was a bit of a collector and loved going to garage sales, sometimes picking up a bargain, but always coming home with something. Pete had a sweet tooth, and being diabetic, ate all the things that he shouldn't have. He kept a stash of lollies and biscuits in his second drawer. He loved chocolate and would often sneak a Red Bull energy drink, hoping that Margaret wouldn't catch him. Family meant everything to Pete. They were such an important part of his life. Margaret may have called him a few choice words at times, and his reply would have been, "Shut up, Mad Margaret." But that was their way, always there for each other, loving and caring. Pete was a loving father, stepfather, grandfather, great-grandfather, and to anyone that came into his life, and would do anything for any one of them. After a life of 63 years, Pete left our world and will be sadly missed by those who were privileged to have known him. I'd now like to read some tributes for you, and the first one is from Pete's stepdaughter, Linda. When you first met my mother, there was no way to know that over time I would love you too. As years would come and go, I never dreamt the closeness that I feel now towards you. You would be kind and true, and though we've had our trials, as families always do, I'll be forever grateful for the friend I found in you, who called me Piglet. It's now goodbye. It's see you later. Ride that highway in the sky. Love always, your little Piglet. And the other tribute is from Riley, and Riley's watching today. Riley goes to say, I'd like to thank everyone for coming here, and sorry to the ones that couldn't make it, including myself. To the ones in heaven, Peter's daughter Jodie, grandson Blake, you both will always be loved and missed. Dad, you touched the hearts of so many. You will always be remembered as a staunch Poppy Pete that everyone loved. You were very protective when it came to your family and friends, and I know how much they meant to you. I will never come across anyone like you. You were definitely one of a kind. The day I got the news that your heart had stopped, it broke me hard. I cried a million tears. But I will always remember the good times, like one Christmas you and Mum bought me and George little Harleys, choppers. Little choppers? Yeah, choppers. Yes. And we felt like we were gonsters. That day I knew I wanted to grow up like you. You're my role model, my idol, my father, my world. It still seems unreal. It was only last week I spoke to you, old boy. You said, "Do the right thing, boy." Well, I've come to realisation this is a sad wake-up call. I'm going to do the right thing and make you proud of me. The man I call Father, Peter James Causon, I will never be able to say goodbye because it's one of the hardest things I have ever had to do. I'm shattered. I'm so lost and broken. I hope you have found peace. I love you more than words can explain. Rest in peace, the man I called Father. Loved, Riley. Thank you, Riley. We now have an invitation for anybody that would like to come forward and share a short memory or a brief story of Peter with us. Yes, okay. I might move my notes here so you can, yes. There.
Most of you don't know me. I'm Pete's brother. My name's Andrew. And I loved him. I didn't meet him enough. When we were kids, we fought all the time. I don't think two brothers ever fought so much. But when he became a man and I became a man, we became friends. I painted that picture of him. When I gave it to him in a pub in Wynyard, he was really moved. And he said, "I can't keep it here." He had to run it home and put it somewhere safe. And so he disappeared in his ute and came back 20 minutes later. The thing I like about Pete more than anything else is that he was honest and kind. He didn't look honest and kind, but he was honest and kind, and I loved him.
It's certainly a beautiful painting. I commented to Margaret earlier, yes. Was there anybody else that wished to share a word with us?
This is from Jordan. Thank you for coming out today to celebrate the memory of my amazing father. I cherish the memories I have with my father and know he is smiling down on all of us. I don't know how long it will take me to grieve this horrendous loss. My father was the most important person in my life, and I feel heartbroken to no longer have time with him, to have him here with us. He touched the hearts of many who will never be forgotten. His memory will live forever and carry on. To the man that taught me everything I know, the man who raised me since I was 4 months old, the man who took me on as his own kid when he didn't have to, but he did anyway. I just want to say how much of a great man you was, always willing to help everyone out. I'm glad I got the memories I did with you, old boy. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'll cherish forever the memories. Who's going to be the one to tell me off now? I'm going to miss that as well. You taught me right from wrong, but in the end, I know you was proud of me. I know you loved me and my daughter, which is your granddaughter. I will remember her and the man that you were. Ride on forever, Dad. I'm going to miss you. Forever loved, forever missed by many. From Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Peter, what can we say about him? Lots. Peter, only those who were lucky to have known you as a brother can totally understand. With you leaving us, I truly know we can find comfort in death of a great person. But death will never take away our memories of him or the happy times each and every one here who knew him. Peter led a remarkable life, and everyone here will have a special memory to keep and share. Peter, now that you're gone, you won't be able to share our adventures, but I know you will always be with us in spirit on our rides. It broke our hearts to lose you, but you did not go alone, because you took a piece of each and every one here with you. You never said goodbye to us, you fat bastard. But we will meet up again someday, that I know, and we will drink Jack Daniels and Sambucas and bloody laugh. Margaret, our love and condolences to you and the family and friends. We can't imagine what you're going through right now, Margaret. We truly hope you find comfort in your family and friends during these dark times, and please accept our deepest sympathies and condolences for the loss of Peter. Gone but not forgotten.
Thanks, boys. Dylan?
It is me again. Hello, Dick. Like all great men whose reputation precedes them, I'd heard about Pete well before I met him. And I first met Pete when he moved to Wynyard in the main street above the bike shop Ellis Cycles. A place where I would often drink coffee with a group of my friends, many of whom were, are, and always will be friends with Pete. Within a minute of meeting Pete, he'd both greeted me warmly and teased me equally. It goes without saying, I liked him immediately. As a shit talker, shit stirrer, and stirrer upperer myself, I can recognise an expert when I see one. To say that Peter was funny would be selling him short. The man was a genius comedian. As we fell in together, through those that we both knew, good times were had until time passed, and our mutual friends became our mutual loss, and I found a friend forever. Poppy Pete I'd met, and Poppy Pete I knew, but it was in these dark times I really began to get to know Peter. A man born to be big, big hands, big head, big guts, and a big heart, the size of far laps. The only difference being that one was a born winner, a thoroughbred, an out-and-out Australian champion, a legend who will be remembered throughout the passing of time, and Far Lap was a racehorse. For many hours, on many days, for many years, I had the privilege of spending time with Peter, a man that I cannot speak highly enough of. We would run errands for Marg and run after the twins. We'd hang out with Brenny and drop in on Brody, and I'd try not to laugh while he picked on Linda. We'd go everywhere together to check on our friends. Pete, in his wisdom, understood that there was always time for a cuppa and a chat, and I'm sure that people understand that they were always the most important thing to Pop. My own words and own eyes can never truly explain what I have seen this man do for other people. Poppy was tough, and he liked being mean. His kindness and generosity make this not only a loss to family and friends, but the community as a whole. Pop was always willing to go into bat for other people, which is why we always had one in the car. I'd often talk to Pete about growing up down south, life out west, life in Baghdad and life at Elliot. I'd listen to tales of success and tales of failure, the good times and the rough times, and of houses, businesses, trucks and bikes. But mostly I would hear tales of family and friends. Pete and I always did look like the odd couple, me being the one who looked out of place. But truth be told, I was always honoured to tag along, understanding that I was in the presence of greatness, Pete being a man who understood virtues that most only read about in the dictionary. Our conversations are often educational, for Pete was both a well-educated and well-read man. We would discuss art and literature, architecture and engineering, precious metals, valuable gemstones and rare timber. A cultured man, Pete loved antiques. I always have, and I always will, admire Pete's intelligence. On many occasions I have played chess with Peter, Geordie and Riley. And while I rarely drink, it was on occasion, late at night, Pete and I alone, drinking whiskey and sambuca, after some questioning, some joking and some badgering, that Pete would admit to me that he loved Margaret. Peter was a man of great courage, great toughness, great kindness, and great generosity. He always called it how it is, and he never backed down from anybody. What more can I say about a man like that? Rest in peace, Pop. You will always be remembered. You are impossible to forget.
Thank you, Dylan.
It goes with a heavy heart that today we have to say our last goodbyes to a truly amazing man. Anyone that was fortunate enough to know Poppy Pete was truly blessed to have known such a soul. He was a man of many things, a man of humour, a man of strengths, a man of courage, a man of wisdom, a man that gave more than he could ever receive, and a man that could party like he was in his 20s and still get up 8:30 the next day to go to Noah's. But most importantly, a truly compassionate man that touched the hearts of hundreds of people at his 63 years of life. He had a heart like no other. His presence was a gift, and the time spent with Peter was precious. There was never ever a dull moment with him. He always had his own way to put a smile on the faces of those around him. Even if it meant bagging you out or roughing you up, he managed to make you smile. The first time I ever met Pop 5 years ago, I didn't know him from a bar of soap. Blake sent me up north to go live with the boys and stay out of trouble. The moment I walked in the door, him and Marks weren't happy. He said to me, "If you expect to stay here, make sure you pick up after yourself." I instantly liked him after that. It only took a few days and it was like we'd both known each other since I was in diapers. He cleaned out his sunroom for me, and Nanny Marks gave me her old bed, and they set me up and had me living with them. We grew up on like no other. We would go for our drives and he'd take me to see all his mates. He introduced me to some really awesome people. We'd sit at Dusty's or go see Smokey and have a coffee, or we'd go visit Santa and Nathan, or Michelle or Dylan and his mum. Some weekends we'd just have a quiet one in with the boys and have some Sambuca or Cooley, of course, and listen to his old songs and just talk about shit all night while he made his one-pot wonder casserole that tastes like shit. I will forever treasure the time spent with you, and as will everyone else who has joined us today, whose life you took a significant part in. You are so dearly loved and missed. If home was a feeling, being around you felt like home. Rest in paradise, big fella. Love always, Kira.
I Poppy.
Candy would like me to read you all every time you found out I was in trouble. I'd get the lecture from him, I know you can't get somewhere in life. Don't be silly, mate. Stop getting into shit. You can break the cycle. So that's exactly what I'm going to do for you, Pop. Can't have you haunting me for getting into any more trouble. You treated me like your own granddaughter. When I came over, we would have a smoke, sit down and talk about the random stuff, have a laugh. He always used to love to pick on Joe because he was a big softy, softest of them all, not because he didn't like him, just because it was funny taking the what's-name out of him. And every time I came over, I'd look forward to it because you made my day each and every damn time. We would walk in the door and it would be, oh, not this smelly one, or sticking your what's-name, and don't even get me started on Riley and Jordan. You two were in his world no matter how much you got on his nerves. He loves you too, he truly does. Even though he's got his own funny way of showing it, he was the rock holding us all together, but that doesn't mean he still can't. He can just do it from paradise while drinking his Sambuca. He got me to have a shot of that one day, and it definitely did not agree with me. I can remember once Riley came into Pop's room and laid next to him and touched. Oh, right, yes, etc. And Pop came out and made me. Pop was the funniest bloke I knew. Never failed to put a smile on anyone's face, but Mother Nature decided that it was time for you to grow your wings and find your peace. So you have, and now all we can do is let your legendary memory live on, Pop. As we say, it's not goodbye, it's until we meet again. Rest in peace, Pop. How true are the words, a picture paints 1,000 words. We're now going to see Peter's life through the lens of a camera with an audio-visual presentation while listening to the raspy voice of Chris Stapleton sing Tennessee Whiskey.
Used to spend my nights out in ballroom. Liquor was the only love I'd known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom and brought me back, being too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay strong on your love all the time. I've looked for love in all the same old places. Found the bottom of the bottle's always dry. But when you poured out your heart, I didn't waste it. 'cause there's nothing like your love to get me high. And you're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, you're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. This is the clock upon the wall. This is the story of us all. This is the first sound of a newborn child before he starts to crawl. This is the war that's never won. This is a soldier and his gun. This is the mother waiting by the phone, praying for her son. Pictures of you, pictures of me, hung upon your wall for the world to see. Pictures of you, pictures of me, remind us all of what we used to be. There is a drug that cures it all, blocked by the governmental war. We are the scientists inside the lab, just waiting for the call. This earthquake weather has got me shaking inside. I'm high up and dry. Pictures of you, pictures of me, hung upon your wall for the world to see. Pictures of you, pictures of me, remind us all of what we used to be. Confess to me every secret moment, every stolen promise you believe. Confess to me all that lies between us, all that lies between you and me. We are the boxes in the ring. We are the bells that never sing. There is a title we can't win, no matter how hard we might swing. Pictures of you, pictures of me, hung upon your wall for the world to see. Pictures of you, pictures of me, remind us all of what we could have been. Pictures of you, pictures of me, hung upon your wall for the world to see. Pictures of you, pictures of me,
Margaret has asked me on her behalf to thank Raz and BJ for their care and support. It is so much appreciated. Along with the family, she'd like to express their heartfelt thanks for your presence here today and invite you to join them here at Parkside for refreshments where you can share your memories of Peter with the family and with each other over a cuppa. The family would also like to let you know that if you'd like to purchase a Poppy Pete sticker, they're here today, and we may find out later where you can collect them from. We have our time on earth, and then it's time to leave and say goodbye. It's the natural and the normal cycle of life and death. Peter would want you to live life each and every moment. Let his dying guide your own lives with hope, passion and a joy for living. Life is as precious as our relationships to others. Take time to be fully present with each other and be gentle with yourselves. In times of heartache and grief, call upon your closest friends and family to be with you, to comfort you. The memories we've shared about Peter will remain with you all in all time. He has lived and his living touched us all in many different ways. May you remember Pete for the good things he did and for the times that you shared and for the man that he was. May his spirit and his memories always be with you. I'd now like to invite family and friends to come forward to say their own personal goodbye by placing a flower on Pete's coffin.
Smile, an everlasting smile. Her smile can bring you near to me. Don't ever let me find you gone, 'cause that would bring a tear to me. This world has lost its glory. Let's start a brand new story now, my love. Right now, there'll be no other time, and I can show you how, my love. Talk in everlasting words and dedicate them all to me. And I will give you all my life. I'm here if you should call to me. You think that I don't even mean a single word I say. It's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away. Take your heart away. It's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away. It's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away. smile, an everlasting smile. Her smile can bring you near to me. Don't ever let me find you gone, 'cause that would bring a tear to me. This world has lost its glory. Let's start a brand new story now, my love. Right now, there'll be no other time, and I can show you how, my love. Talk in everlasting words and dedicate them all to me. And I will give you all my life. I'm here if you should call to me. You think that I don't even mean a single word I say. It's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away. Take your heart away. It's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away. It's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away.
Please find your seats, please. It is now time for the committal. Please stand if you are able. As much as there is a sunrise, there must be a sunset. The rejoicing over birth will one day become the tears of loss. This is a journey that we all must travel, and right now it is a journey that dear Peter must travel. Tenderly and reverently we commit the body of Peter James Causon to the purifying elements and ultimately to the precious earth from which all things come and to which all things in life return. If we could reach up and hold a star for every time you've made us smile, the entire evening sky would be in the palm of our hands. May you go forward in the next part of your journey, Peter. With great love and respect, we bid you farewell.
This time, this place, misused, mistakes, too long, too late. Who was I to make you wait? Just one chance, just one breath, just in case there's just one left. 'Cause you know, you know, you know. Breathe. the reddest rose I always bring you. Save your love for Roma and for me.
Even though it's been so very long, the memory of our love still lingers on. I can't wait to hold and kiss you. Don't you know how much I miss you, darling? Sing for me our lover's song.
Salva l'amore, cara, salva l'amore.
Sì, amore.
Le notti d'estate, la luna, le stelle lassù. E serenade along to see you. The reddest rose I always bring you. Salva l'amore per Roma e per me.
Io ti amo, caro. I love you. I can't wait to hold and kiss you. Don't you know how much I miss you, darling? Sing for me our lover's song.
Save your love, my darling, save your
Oh,
love.
you know that I
For
will.
summer nights with moon and stars
I
above.
love you
E
still.
serenade along to see you. The reddest rose I always bring you. Save your love for Roma and for me. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head? This is where I grew up. I think the president who fixed it up. I never knew we ever went without. The second floor is hot for sneaking out. And this is where I went